O, skyhook salte, skyhook grammaticos, TAC.
That's all I do.
Good morning. So I want to make sure, do we end at 11:30?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to make sure that 6 or 7 minutes before the end we stop and debrief with questions about what it is that we've been doing. So if you'll help me, I'm going to try to watch myself, but don't hesitate to say, something like that to let me know. I'm going to give you some instructions ahead of the instructions so that we can make the best use of our time. If you've got the placard, I'd like you to do the following things with it. On one side, your name in nice big letters. Your name in nice big letters. And on the other side, I want you to draw 2 pictures, please. The first, and no artists required. Do the best you can. Stick figures are wonderful. I want you to draw a picture of a pet that you have or a pet that you would like to have. A pet that you have or a pet that you would like to have. And on the other side, on the other end of that drawing side, I'd like you to draw a picture of something that you play or something that you would love to learn to play. It could be an instrument, it could be a board game, it could be a sport, it doesn't matter. Something that you play, that you love to play, or something that you would love to learn to play. Okay, so name on one side, nice big letters. On the other side, 2 pictures. A pet that you have or a pet that you would love to have. Something that you love to play or that you would love to learn to play. Okay, so work on that while I also introduce you to some things. Several people have asked both Keith and me for these presentations, and I think they're going to be linked ultimately through Paideia. Is that true?
These will all be available as YouTube videos.
Okay, the videos themselves. If you want the presentation, you can email us and we'll...
The presentation will be edited into the YouTube.
Perfect. Okay, there it is. That's the best answer. Okay, so there you have it. We want to show you in this presentation how you can get started using some aspect of comprehensible input with beginners from the very beginning. One of the things that I use in every class that I teach at every level are safety net words, and these reside as permanent posters on the walls of my room in several places so that wherever a student is sitting, they can see the safety net words. And they include things like this. Sometimes I add, sometimes I take away. Nomen mihi est, certe and minime. As you know, there are almost a dozen ways to say yes and no in Latin. These are the ones that I choose. They're strong words because I want students to feel confident and strong when they use them in the beginning. Quid significat? In order to ask me about something they've just heard me say or something that we've just read that they don't understand. My point to them is, so from the very beginning, if you hear or see something that you don't understand, that doesn't drop you out of the conversation. It keeps you in the conversation by asking. There's no shame in asking, quid significat puella? The shame is in sitting there pretending like you know what puella means and saying nothing. So that we try to make it easy for them to enter in with that. Or later on, como lo dicitur, when they're trying to express something they don't know how to say, and they can ask, como lo dicitur girl? Yeah, girl dicitur puella. And they can get the information they need and stay in the conversation. So very simple safety net rules that we use all the time. The rules for today, the things that we're going to do today. First of all, you have to pretend to be my Latin 1 class, and this is our first session. You're pretending, right? Because you've all got degrees and advanced degrees and lots of experience with Latin, so pretend to be the beginner. Whenever I tell you something, pretend to be amazed. And you do that with, oh. So let's practice. I just told you something. That was pretty good. And some of you didn't play at all. I saw you if you weren't playing. I did. I saw you if you weren't playing. So let's try again. I just told you something amazing.
Wow.
Oh, that was much better. Okay. So whenever I tell the room a fact, the room will be amazed. And we'll demonstrate that. Okay? When I ask a question of the room, everyone answers. Okay? Do you love this institute? Yes, that's an example, okay? If I ask a particular person a question, then only he or she answers, okay? So everyone else is listening, because if I ask Eric a question, I might be asking Damianus, the same question in a moment, so he really wants to steal Eric's answer, right, to make sure that he gets a good answer too. When you hear a word you don't understand, ask. We just talked about that with the safety net words. And use our signals. So we've developed just 3 signals in my class, and I let a group of freshmen several years ago develop these. They're very simple. It's, repeat that please. So wherever you're sitting, I can see you do this. Even if you're doing a little tiny one, I can usually see you doing this. One of the things that we like to do in my classroom is to become allies for each other, okay? So if you see somebody doing this, join them. Even though you don't need to hear it repeated, your neighbor does. And even if you hate them otherwise, in my class you're an ally. So join them in the gesture. That way if I see 3 of you doing this, I know, oh, I need to back up and repeat. Probably the most common signal that I see in my classroom is this: slow down, or I'm going to drown. So this is the slow down signal. And so if you see somebody asking me to slow down, join them, and I will take the hint. And then the only other signal that we use is the old traditional hand raised, but it means stop. And I will stop and I will check in with you to find out what it is that you need from me. It could be any number of things, but this means stop. I need your attention. Okay? So show me, repeat please. Show me stop. Show me slow down. There it is. All right, we got it. We talked about being allies. Okay. And so, class, today there are some new words that you're going to learn. How many of you know any Latin? No, pretend. You're pretending to be. All right, so nobody knows any Latin except you. I hear your father was in the Marines. What's your name?
Augustus.
Augustus. So did I hear correctly?
Yes.
You have a family member that was in the Marines, so you know what?
Semper Fidelis?
That's it. Perfect. Great. So Gus knows 2 words, and the rest of us know none. So here are some words that we're going to play with today. Habezna. Habezna means do you have? I'm going to leave these up there. And wizna, do you want? And ludizna, do you play? So habezna, wizna, ludizna, that's it. 3 words. Now, you may hear me use some other words, and some of them you'll be able to guess at and understand. Here's a secret that language teachers don't like to let out. In language learning, guessing counts. It always counts. Oh, very nice. That was good. This is going to be a great class, I can tell. And I want you for 4 years, by the way. Right? When you start taking Latin with me, you're in for the long haul. So this is going to be, we're going to have a great 4 years together. I can just tell. It's just in the air. All right. So these, you don't have to worry about saying these words. I'll be saying them. For the most part, if I ask you habezna something, what are your answers going to be? Kerte or minime, right? So we've got it. We've got a conversation in the making. Could you pass your cards down to this end of the room? Just pass those down, please. And I'll tell you while you're doing that, I always do this the first day of school, the first day of class, because there's all this other administrativa that I have to do. So I do take these up, and we actually begin doing this on the second day of school. And it also gives me a chance to kind of go through them and see what students have created. And in a class, typically my Latin 1 classes are 35-ish, sometimes 30, so it's a small class. It was supposed to be a joke. 30 never used to happen. 28 used to be the biggest class we would ever have. Gracias, gracias. Are there any up there? Oh, you got them. Excellent. And it gives me a chance to go through them. And I choose, out of a class of 30 to 35, I choose 3 a day. So by the end of the first 2 or 2.5 weeks of school, everybody in the room has been the star. And it also gives me a chance to get to know their names. Okay, so give me just a moment to look. Okay. Okay, bene. Salvete. Ah, optime. Remember I taught you that yesterday? Salvete. Optime. And you say back to me? Salve. Perfect. Ubi est Goffredus. Goffredus, salve. Goffredus. Habesna canem minime. Goffredus, wisna habere canem? Certe. Ah, intelligo. Discipuli, Goffredus non habet canem. Oh. Said. Somebody raise your hand and ask me what said means. Ita? Ah, gratia. Sed significat but. Huh? Ah, not but. However, okay, oh, sed significat but. Sed, discipuli, Goffredus canem habere vult. Ah, ita. Vult. He wants. Quid significat wisna? Quid significat wisna? You! Quid significat wisna? Quid significat wisna? Do you want? Vult significat he wants. Intelligisna? Bene. Goffredus canem habere vult. Goffrede, wisna canem magnum amparum. Magnum. Wisna magnum canem habere? Certe? Wisna, gratias. Goffrede, wisna magnum canem habere? Certe, intelligo. Et Goffrede, canis habebit, will it have? Canis habebit nomen? Certe. Quod nomen canis habebit? Goffredus. Goffredus maximus? Quod est magnus canis? Maximus significat really big. Maximus, Goffredus maximus? Maximus. Discipuli, Goffredus non habet canem. Said. Quid significat said? But. Not that kind of but. Okay. Said. Said Goffredus magnum canem habere vult. Et. Somebody ask me. Et, gratias. Et significat and. Quid significat sed? Et significat and. Sed significat but. Et significat and. Gratias. Et. See if Goffredus canem habeat, nomen sit Goffredus maximus. Intelligitis, no? It's a word I would have taught them as well. Ita. Gratias.
Quid significat sit?
Sit. Maybe. It may be. It may be. So what did I say? Let me just check in with you. Si Goffredus canem habeat. If Goffredus has a dog, nomen Goffredus maximus sit. Maybe, because he doesn't have it, right? Okay. Bene. Ubi est Christen? Christen. Oh. Christen. Tu quoque habet canem? Ah. Et Christen canis nomen habet? Quod nomen ei est? Expecta momento. Ei. Is there a name to it? Does it have a name? Est the nomen ei? Nisa. Nomen est nisa. Intelligo. Est nisa feminini or masculini generis? Feminini intelligo. Nisa. Nisa est nomen et est feminini generis. What did I just ask from her? Is she a generous type? It sounds like that, doesn't it? But what did you say?
What's the gender?
What's the gender? Is it a masculine or feminine, a boy or a girl dog? Okay, optime. Discipuli, Christen habet canem certe. Christen habet, you. Gratias. Christen habet canem on felem. Felem. Felem significat meow. Intelligis, ne? Ita? Bene.
Quid significat an?
On, or. Quid significat sed? Quid significat et? Quid significat on? Or. Bene, gratias. Gratias. Christen habet felem? No. Christen habet felem on canem. Canem. Et esna canis Christinae, esna canis Christinae, masculini and feminini generis? Feminini, ita. Esna nomen canis Christinae maximus? Non est maximus? Ehu, cuius canis habet nomen maximus? Goffredus. Said discipuli, Goffredus revera means really, habet canem? Minime. Goffredus vult canem habere. Ita, certe? Certe. Christina, esna nisa canis magna am parva? Canis parva. Es canis senex. Non est senex. Est juvenis? Non est juvenis. Canis Christinae nisa. Non est senex. What do you think senex means? Old. Non est senex sed. What does sed mean? Sed non est juvenis. What do you think juvenis means? Yeah. How did you know what young meant? Who taught you that? Oh, you just guessed. Does guessing count? Absolutely. And a lot of times, in the context, you can guess what the right word means. All right, optime. Ubi est Hannah? Gratias. Okay, we're going to stop right there. Hannah, I just have to ask. Habezna camelo pardalem. Wisna habere bene gratias. All right. Okay. All right. So we're gonna you see what we're trying to do. And so if I start class every day for 10 or 12 days with 3 of those, it's about 15 minutes of my class. And then we go on into whatever else I have planned, but somebody gets to be the star. 3 people get to be the star. I get to know them. And we're just building this vocabulary. I didn't have, these are the 3 words. These are the 3 words, and I didn't get to ludizna because I didn't play off of those. These are the 3 words that I want them to leave knowing today. But there were what we call icing words. All those other words that we used that are not on the list, and if they leave the room not knowing them, that's okay as long as they know these words. But what other words came up in our conversation that are not on the list? Said, on, at, senex, sit, canem, phelem. Okay, so that's already 7 more words. I'm aiming for 3. Yes?
Would you ever consider optionally giving that to them on paper as well, visually?
That's an interesting question. The original intent would my answer would be no. Okay, but what I found over the years is that there are some students who become extremely anxious when they're not, and it's always, and I didn't do this with you, it's always clear your desks. When I'm doing this sort of thing, no writing. I need to see your eyes. I need to know what's going on with you. I need to see the gestures. I need to see the responses. But to address those students who become really anxious, I always say, at the end of class, I'm going to let you either take notes or take a shot, because nowadays it's just, can I get a picture of that? So they do leave, those who want it, and I never require it at this level. If you want a copy of this, now you have 2 minutes before the bell rings to do that.
But they're not up there. I mean, those icing words aren't.
No, you mean the icing words. The other thing that I would do when a word came up that wasn't on the list is to create a list in a different color. Now, at school, I wouldn't have this on a PowerPoint. I would have, usually the words for the day are in black, and icing words are any other color, and they're off to the side. So the quick shots, yes, they're quick shots. And I add the icing words as they come up, because in different classes, different words come up. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What about pronunciation? Like, I was trying to pronounce it really horribly, but how do you correct the kids' pronunciation, or you just let them?
Not at all, because I subscribe to the theory that the more input that I give them, the better their output will be. And this is the first day of class, so if they can say something that I recognize, that's all that matters. Krashen distinguishes between error correction and truth value. This is a huge concept for me. When we watch parents with their children, a child will say something like, "Her curl my hair," and parents typically don't do anything with that because, in fact, somebody's curling her hair. I think I gave this example the other day. Disney come on Tuesday. No, Disney come on Wednesday. And so what's been corrected is the truth value. And as long as I understand what's being said back, I'm just going to keep doing the best that I can, and that will eventually. We do something, and I don't know that Keith's going to address this, but you can look it up through the Latin Best Practices blog page. We do something called dictatio. I've seen nothing adjust pronunciation, spelling, and audio hearing better than dictatio. It's just a magical thing.
So with the words, so the student who wrote it on their card
Mm-hmm.
will learn that word because they'll realize that's what I drew.
Yep.
Will you show the card to the class so that they can see, for example, that canem means dog or canem
Yeah.
or dog?
Sometimes I do, and I would have definitely shown this one because that nobody would have known that word. Everybody's going to know cat and dog because that's what mostly the kids draw.
And what about, so what you did with Uinus, would that, how many of your students usually get that?
If I've done a good job demonstrating old, then a large number of them are going to guess young. But there are going to be students in the room who had that, I have no idea how he knew. And I have to tend to that. It's okay that you didn't know that. You weren't expected to know that. I just took a risk that some of you might guess it, some of you did. Yay, look what a gift they gave to us. They guessed correctly. Now we've all got it for today. I don't expect you to know that. And I'll tell them, These are the only words I need you to know today when you leave the room. And a lot of times I'll walk to the back of the room and say, look at me. What does habezna mean? And they'll shout it out to me. What does wisna mean? They'll shout, what does ludizna mean? You got it, 100% for everybody today. And we got to stop. Thanks. Thank you.